There's been a lot of action at the winter meetings so far, but not so much from the Indians. He's Paul Hoynes. I'm Zach Meisel with cleveland.com. Hoynesy, the Indians have been linked to a number of guys. A lot of people have called about their starting pitching. What's the latest with Todd Frazier? Could he be a guy that the Indians try to acquire?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've talked a number of times with the Reds, not just about Frazier, but the Reds are rebuilding. They've got some veteran players they're trying to move. But I think Frazier is the focal point. I think he'd fit in great with the Indians lineup, but he could play third base. I just wonder, I've heard that the Reds are asking for a lot, and I'm not sure if that's one of their Indian starting pitchers or one of their key prospects.
You would think this would be different, because I know Carrasco, Salazar, these guys are under control for a while, but they seem to want minor leaguers who they won't even start their control process for another couple of years. And with the Indians, it's almost like, it seems like this would be a good match, because you might not have to give up one of those starting pitchers, and it's easy to deal with rebuilding teams, but still, it all depends on what the other team wants.
Yeah, do they want Clint Frazier? Do they want Bradley Zimmer? And I'm sure that's who they're talking about. Mike Clevenger, Ryan Merritt, guys like that. I'm sure that's who they're talking about. And right now, it seems like the Indians are reluctant to do that. And you just wonder. I mean, okay, if you're not going to trade your starting pitchers and you want to improve the offense, I mean, okay, that's what prospects are there for.
Right.
You can trade them.
And we've heard all week. We've heard it from Antonetti, we've heard it from Chernoff, we've heard it from Francona. The Indians' preference is to keep those starting pitchers. But we know they're not going to dump $15-20 million on some free agent outfielder. So that leaves you with, like you said, limited opportunities. With Frazier, he's a guy who hit 35 home runs. He was the home run derby champion. He can play third. You've got Giovanni Urshela there, but he's kind of a question mark offensively. He's had a little bit of experience at first and in the corner outfield spots. Doesn't it seem like a no-brainer?
It seems like a no-brainer. I mean, you'd only have him for 2 years. Then he'd be a free agent in 2018. But it's sure, I mean, he fits everything the Indians need. He's got pop. He hits from the right side. He has a big league experience, and you could put him right in the middle of the lineup.
Now, we saw the Diamondbacks and the Braves, two teams the Indians have talked to this week about various players, make a trade on Tuesday evening with Shelby Miller going from Atlanta to Arizona. The Diamondbacks sent the #1 overall pick from this year, Dansby Swanson, back to his hometown in Atlanta. They send Aaron Blair, a pretty well-regarded pitching prospect. They send Ender Inciarte, who's a pretty good outfielder. That's a lot for a guy. Shelby Miller, who's probably a #2 starter. What does that mean for the Indians in their negotiations with Carlos Carrasco and Danny Salazar?
Well, I think it means the sky's the limit for if you're going to, for Carrasco and Salazar. They have to make the right move if they're going to make a move, like we've said before. I thought Francona said, it was real interesting when he said, if we trade Carrasco, we can't go out and buy another pitcher like that. Not at what they're getting now. Free agents or free agent pitchers are getting. So if we make a deal, they've got to hit a home run. They can't screw it.
It seems like they have to hit a home run. I mean, there's no, you can't sit tight. I know Mike Chernoff said today that they don't have to fill any holes. It would be a luxury if they could, but I think we all know they can't go into the season with Colin Cowgill and Shane Robinson and Joey Butler as the candidates for this outfield. And they have to address this.
Yeah, as Francona said today, they're not ready to go to spring training.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a lot of moves to make. They've got to get a center fielder. They've got to find out when they're not going to be able to. Brantley is kind of an indefinite thing, but hopefully they get him back in May. But you still got right field. You got to, even if you start choosing all there, you got to find a platoon partner, and you got to find somebody for Abraham to play with the Abraham Almonte in center.
Are you ready to go to spring training?
Not yet. No, I am not.
We'll send you off on a little vacation first. All right. Well, the Rule 5 draft takes place Thursday, and that's it for the winter meetings. But, of course, that doesn't mean that's it for the offseason. Plenty of time for the Indians and every other team to make a trade, a free agent signing, or what. We'll keep our eyes on what the Indians do. He's Paul Hoynes. I'm Zach Meisel. Thanks for watching on cleveland.com.